Please read the disclaimer. Do we actually know XRP holders who bought the dip? It is someone that you know very, very well. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. We're going to talk about also what Coinbase CEO is saying about the current situation with the Clarity Act. Is he negative, positive about the situation? And does he think Clarity Act could pass? We'll also talk about a weird thing that happened in the market a few hours ago that you might have saw. I actually thought it might be the situation with Iran. Something happened there. I was with my in-laws and my wife. I was like, I think something must have happened because the market just went bananas. So we'll talk about that as well. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smash that like button. Let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video. I know you guys can do it, so let's get into it. Currently, XRP is sitting at $1.43. I'm actually recording this the night before. If you are like, why is the price totally off? It's because I'm recording the night before. My wife is doing surgery in the morning, so I'm going to be incapacitated until the evening. So I was like, okay, let me record here tonight. And, you know, the price action, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But do you notice something weird that is going on here? I don't know if you noticed this, but the volume spiked, right? And I was like, what's going on? I thought maybe the US did something happened, because it wasn't going too much up, but it wasn't going too much down. You can see there was a spike here, and then it kept going spiky. And Ethereum was even weirder, right? Suddenly there was volume, and also Bitcoin, everything suddenly got huge amounts of volume. I was like, whoa, what's happening here? Apparently, right, it wasn't WW3. But it was Ethereum. It was experiencing abnormal price swings. It wasn't just Ethereum, but due to a malfunction in a market maker's grid trading strategy. So that's what happened, and potentially people might have got liquidated here on this shenanigans. But hopefully, you know, you didn't have any positions that got shooken out because of it, right? So just know that that's what happened here. If you saw that on the graph and you were like, what was going on? So that's basically what was going on, okay? So US investors are buying the dip. Can you believe it? The Coinbase Premium Index has flipped positive for the first time since mid-January. US investors are stepping in after Bitcoin dipped towards 60,000. This suggests US demand is returning after days of heavy selling. It makes sense. You know, I'm seeing on social media questions in some groups that I am in here, right, in my country, people talking about, well, is now the time, right? And now that the price is back, now that we're down 50% from the high, people were getting interested. And the problem is that many times by the time they get interested, right, the market has already recovered a lot. So of course we had that low that was, you know, almost 30+% there, a recovery for XRP, for example. But a lot of assets did see recovery, and maybe it's a good sign that today it's pretty flat. Like we're down 2.5% right now. We'll see where we are tomorrow morning by the time you watch this. But maybe it's a good sign that, you know, the bleeding stopped, right, on the market. So that might be the silver lining of it. And even though we saw crypto funds record 1.5 billion in net outflows in the week ending Wednesday, the most since November, we did get this, right? So Jim Cramer on CNBC, let's listen what he had to say.
Do you think that the president is going to fill the Bitcoin reserve?
I don't know. That will
Well, that's
be
what I
a
heard at
big
60.
deal.
I heard at 60 he's going to fill the Bitcoin reserve. You better cover.
If this is true, right, and this is you know, crazy, because they said that they wouldn't be using any funds that were not that were from the American people, meaning they wouldn't like take taxes and use it to buy Bitcoin. So did they find money to use to buy Bitcoin at 60,000, or did they go back on their promise there? But either way, it's very interesting, and that's what Jim Cramer heard. Could this all be like over the past few days, we've been talking about the possibilities of why the market crashed and why Bitcoin crashed and why XRP's, front running the crash. Maybe this was some government manipulation. I don't know. But there was a lot of factors. And actually, there was an exchange that had an error. I'll get to that in just a second, where I think it was $40 billion that was given away. You'll see in just a second. But it is very interesting that Jim Cramer heard this, and maybe we'll get an information in the next coming weeks that the U.S. government did add Bitcoin to the Bitcoin reserve. That will be very interesting if we see that headline, and then that could be a bullish indication for the market. You can see this as well, Ethereum. That was going on there. So that's very, very interesting. And Coinbase CEO said today that the banks are trying to undermine the president's crypto agenda. He also said, well, actually, let's take a listen.
The Genius Act passed into law, which actually did enable stablecoin rewards to happen. The banks had their own concerns, and we reached a good outcome in the Genius Act. And now the banks really are coming and trying to undermine the president's crypto agenda. I mean, these are the same banks that debanked him and his family, right? And they want to come in and say that Americans should not be able to actually earn more money on their money. They're trying to protect their own profit margins, taking money out of the pockets of hardworking average Americans and putting it into the coffers of these big banks that are hitting record profits. And so our view is that there should be a level playing field where banks and crypto companies can lean into stablecoin legislation as an opportunity, and that includes paying rewards to Americans so that they can earn more money on their money. Got the Genius Act.
So it seems for now they don't have a deal or no deal, right? And there's, from Coinbase's point of view, they haven't really gotten any progress here. From a Clarity Act point of view, again, the market has been selling off since Coinbase pulled out their support of the Clarity Act. And so again, that could be another factor that maybe people were buying Bitcoin at higher prices because of the possibility of Clarity Act passing. And once they pulled out, then they started slowly but surely relieving their positions and selling their positions. So that was a very interesting situation that we have seen here over the past 48 hours, a lot of things that are coming out. And this story was very, very interesting. But before we get to that, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very importante. So Bithumb accidentally sent out 2,000 Bitcoin per user, right? By accident. So in the South Korean exchange, Bithumb reportedly led to accidental distribution of 2,000 Bitcoin instead of 2,000 won, right? So it's Korean won, which is about $1.50 as a reward payout. So people were supposed to get $1.50 and they ended up getting $130 million each. According to multiple reports, a staff member intended to issue a small random prize with about $1.50, but mistakenly entered BTC as the unit. As a result, hundreds of users received unexpected Bitcoin payouts totaling roughly 2,000, valued near 130 million at current prices. Recipients immediately sold, causing Bitcoin on Bithumb to crash more than 10% below the global market prices before stabilizing. This incident highlights how internal ledger errors and off-chain accounting can still create severe market dislocations, even in 2026, with no corresponding on-chain movement or real Bitcoin. So they actually were able to recover most of it, right? And it totaled out in about $40 billion. And so again, this could be one of the reasons why XRP was front running the sell-off. We know that Koreans love their XRP, and it could be that because of that whole situation, XRP was being sold off. So this might be one of the reasons why we woke up on the Thursday there, and XRP was selling off stronger. Right on the 5th, XRP was selling off stronger than the other assets already in the morning, when XRP was down about 7.5% when we talked in the morning. And then the whole situation continued and XRP dropped like 20+% at one time, 25%. So it will be very interesting to see what plays out here and how all of this happens this week. Sunday Fun Day, you're probably seeing this already in Sunday. Again, the prices are probably different by now. So I hope you understand my kind of mismatch here with the times because of I wanted to pre-record and tell you these stories. They're interesting stories and inform you on the news and what's happening. If you want more crypto and XRP updates, now's the time to subscribe to the channel. I don't know what's going on with my lights. I think I'm getting right. Did you see that? I don't know what's happening. My camera's going bananas here. I have to fix that. And so subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond. Don't forget to smash the like button. Did we get 1,000 likes on this video? Now's the time to do so. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.